Okay, calling to order. All right, calling to order this public meeting of the Active Recreation Assets Working Group for Monday, April 3rd. My name is Heidi Frail. I'm a member of the Select Board and co-chair of this committee. We're going to go around and do some introductions, but I just want to discuss our agenda tonight. Welcome, everyone, and thanks for coming. Looking forward to hearing your comments. After we do some introductions, we'll be talking first among this committee about a potential change to our recommendation for the sports park proposal. Then we'll be, once we wrap that up, we will be hearing from the public on our draft recommendations for the skate park, for our pickleball courts, and for some off-leash activity. And so right now, I sort of want to start out by reminding the public that the recommendations that we're making in these recommendations are not final policy. They're recommendations only to the groups who control the sites on which we're talking about establishing these recreational activities. They have the final say. So this is our recommendation, but it's not a done deal. When we invite you up for public comment, we ask you to limit your comments to 3 minutes or so. We'd like a chance to hear from everyone. And I'm going to remind you also that public hearing does not mean a back and forth conversation. You come up, you say your piece. Typically, we're going to try not to respond, just to absorb, but we are listening, even though we're not sort of responding. We don't want it to get into a conversation that takes time with allowing everyone to speak. And we will ask you please to be respectful both in your comments and the time that you take so that we can make sure that everyone has a chance to speak. If there's anyone on the line or anyone here speaking here, but wants to contribute, of course, you can send your comments to the email address otm@needhamma.gov, and I'll repeat that later. But for right now, we will get started with some introductions. So, you want to start now? Sure.
Hi, I'm Sarah Chastain. I'm the community member at large for this group. I'm
Katie King, Assistant Town Manager.
Community Preservation Committee appointee. Anna Gordon, Assistant Director of Partner. Michelle Dennis, Partner Commission. Frederica Lawn, Parks and Rec.
Stacy Mulroy, Director of Partner. Excellent. Okay, so thank you for the introduction. And I'm going to go over now to Fred Lalonde, who's going to discuss her new proposal for the Claxton Quarry Skate Park.
So, in discussing the skate park,
And I'm just gonna let's speak very loudly. So,
oh, I can do that. So I spent some time talking with a variety of people in the community and a variety of people on different boards here in town, and just thought through it makes sense. I think kind of in my own brain came together as this one destination for football and the skate park, because then it's a place that people can go and have maybe some basketball, what have you. And so in talking to Josh about the skate park, the quarry seems to kind of rise to the top as the best location for it. We talked about a few different ones, but the quarry is really a great spot. It doesn't have any real butters, and same for the pickleball. Like it's a great location for both because they're both high volume, I guess, sports. So to have it not sell right into a neighborhood, ideal. But I think from public perception, we were saying that the park is not a need, the pickleball is not a need, place for and so that's what I get all the things that
I'm assuming so.
So we're talking today about reopening our priority for the skate park and making the quarry the first choice. And then Still Mills, I believe, goes for second.
Can you just describe for people where it is? I was not familiar with the term of quarry
Yeah.
until last week.
So for anyone who doesn't know, the quarry is about like, I think town forest, Claxton, that whole area, but the quarry is like here. And the town forest entrance is here.
I think we can. It's going to be Christmas trees. Okay, because everyone knows for the sell Christmas trees. Like, I'm
Everything across.
We'll take on. So yeah, there is Claxton field, and what you're suggesting is that we expand the field to be a multi-use sports destination to include the skate park and the quarry site where the other Christmas trees off to the left if you're facing it, and then also have pickleball courts there where and the fields and are still used. I will just remind everyone to be Cricket Field on the site of the Park and Rec house building that needs to be removed anyway. And then we were looking at Mills and Hillside Field as alternate sites. So opening it up to discussion, who has thoughts on this proposal?
I think it sounds wonderful for the sports park. Of course, in there too, I question that a little bit.
Well, we had actually,
What would be?
the pickleball acreage and the quarry acreage like aren't competing with each other. The pickleball, we had chosen as our number one choice, and that. For the pickleball courts would be doesn't have to do the court.
What would be the acreage of the porch?
I don't.
Okay.
That I don't know, but I've had. What I can say is our skate park, like an expert is in our audience. He said it would be.
Like 15,000.
That means either, but that's fine. Because he was taken off. So did you wanna talk more about that?
It's wonderful, yeah. Sports park, wonderful, I think.
I do think. If I can just throw out one positive, I think, is that you said both of these activities are pretty loud. You know, Wellesley's having a problem with pickleball right now because the residents think that it's too loud. And I imagine, if I recall from when my kids were young, skate park is pretty loud too. So having it near a residential neighborhood might be a little wearing for those that come in. So in that perspective, it's a good idea. I am still a little bit concerned because I think that cricket is more accessible, but we did confirm that there are sidewalks from Claxton to town in pretty much every direction, so it is feasible. And there is parking there. So even if we're talking about kids who maybe their parents aren't willing to let them go by themselves or it's park for drop off. Anyone else?
I fully support the location. I think from a square footage perspective, you can get more in the quarry for the skate park, so it just allows for more flexibility. I think cricket is the difficult area. The topography is challenging, and I think we just would have more flexibility and more being able to get more of that space at the quarry. So
Okay. The
will say I support the concept, my own concern originally was sort of the distance away. More walkable the space, but I think everything's a compliment also. And so if this is better for other reasons than becomes sort of more of a destination, then that's fine with me. I ideally would like to see it like probably closer to some schools or something that kids could walk to, but we can't have everything. I would say that.
All right. And Stacy, Park and Rec owns this property, you're on board with this.
Just for everybody, on the, you're looking at the field, the boards on the left, and the part of the field that we're looking at, and the field boards is over on the right of the parking lot. Where the former playground is, so they're very much separated,
Okay,
If I could, I just want to raise before motion that because we have the original recommendation that had Cricket as primary and then Mills and Hillside as two alternates, it would be great, if we could hear from the group on, is one of those going to drop aside? These are supposed to inform the feasibility study that we're going to be we can't step forward, so I just want to make sure we're saying, are we just saying Claxton Mills? Claxton Mills and the other two, and if we can come to a resolution on that, so we have clear direction heading to town meeting, that would be really helpful.
I support, Corey and Hillside. There's two choices for support.
so. If I recall, one of the objections to Hillside is that it's so like that, the street is so hilly. That some people were concerned that people weren't get there on their wheeled vehicle thing, whatever. Skateboards, bikes, whatever. I don't actually recall what the other objections were offhand.
When I raised that it's property and there's a large master plan with that, and so this would be just such a smaller piece of a bigger discussion. So.
But
The concern I have about the hillside site is it's very close to wetlands. And the skate park would require an impermeable system. So I think that would be doable, but much more expensive to do it around the wetland.
Okay, so about Mills as an alternate site.
It's the alternate location for pickleball also. So
Yeah, that's, I agree.
that's the only concern I have is that it becomes the alternate site for two very noisy activities, but if it's big enough.
So, not to like assume anything, but it seems like the would tell us like it could go just fine, right? Or this one's better than the other one's, the other one, blah, blah. But assuming that pickleball could easily go in either, then it's really the skate park that's on the, like, which one? So then wouldn't, like, if it ended up being that they could both go either place, then great, we can do it all accident, but if not, then we'd have to move the skate park, then we'd probably separate that at that point. Then for the whole thing, just, you know, you just put one and the other. So even if we do, you know, unless it comes back to nothing, you know, class and everything has to go, no, when we, I don't know, is that really risk?
Okay, so we need to come to some, I mean, it seems like people are fine with making our first choice Claxton. But we need to come to some consensus on the second choice. So I agree that Hillside should get knocked off this list. Just unnecessarily complicated, and it could interfere with some future plans with school. Does everyone hear that? Yeah, okay. So the question is, should our alternate site be Cricket or Mills? That's really our main question. And if we just knocked one off, do we need to knock off two?
Yeah, so I was just, I think we could try to go get the feasibility study on Claxton Mills and one other, so I think it gives us that direction.
Okay.
Then, however, far the money stretches us, we will do it.
Okay, so I'm gonna try. Propose my. Should propose a motion for someone else to move, right? So I'm looking for a motion that would, have the committee change our recommendation for the Action Sports Park to be located for feasibility study on Claxton as our first choice, with Mills and Cricket as our alternates. Have a second?
Second.
Excellent, let's go around and vote. Start with her. Aye. 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 Okay, great. And I meant to mention earlier that John Conley and Matt Borelli are not with us this evening, so that was an unanimous vote, so there we are. Our new recommendation is Claxton for our skate. With an alternate Cricket and Hillside. Excellent. Okay, so now we turn to public hearing to hear your input on these recommendations. So just to review, the skate park, this committee recommending be situated for, we do a feasibility study on siting at Claxton with an alternate field and Mills Field as alternate sites. We're looking at pickleball to be located at Claxton Field, the primary site, with Mills Field as an alternate. And then we're looking at some off-leash dog areas that would allow town to establish a pilot program for off-leash dog areas at Hillside Field as the primary large field option, with Mills Field as an alternate site, and at Rotary Trail and Zero Harris Avenue as primary trails or wooded areas, and then to further explore the need for a top park option. So. Come on up. Remember, just remind me to state your name and address for the record. And you could just have the mic a little closer to you so the folks online here. Sure.
I'm Josh Conlon, 22 Oakhurst. As most of you guys know, but most of you guys, I greatly appreciate you, part of the committee. I did some weeks that I look back, it's been talks with the towns since I came in before. So my partner Ryan Z and I are super excited to do this. Thank you very much. Relative to the discussion that you had, I think Claxton would be a perfect spot for this. Cricket is the skate park is way bigger than the footprint of that house. And to retaining wall and residents right there. I want a skate park. I don't know if I want one right here next to my bedroom. It would be tough. I've been told that this decibel level as if Wellesley's getting into pickleball, then it's the same thing in the residential heavy neighborhood, which is perfect, I feel. I talked to a skate park developer. He said there's no problem working in the quarry. It's what is under and it's bedrock. Then they usually go down, get down bedrock anyways, so that would work. 15 to 20,000 square feet is the size that is sort of recommended for this. By my idiot measurements, quarry is about 17, so it's sort of there. Obviously, somebody knows what they're doing to look at it, but I would really support it. I also do think that the committee in general is overestimating the need for it to be walkable for all kids. Most skate parks are not in residential neighborhoods. One in Framingham, 10,000 square feet. It's on Farm Pond. It's a pretty industrial area right there. There is a major sports complex area right there, but and there's not a ton of people who stay. So, making this as a happen. It's been a long haul, and thanks, guys.
Thank you. Come on up.
Lisa Rhodes, I live at 19 Washburn Avenue. And I thought a lot about what I wanted to say tonight. And then after further reflection, I realized that I have very little to say tonight. 2 months ago, I came here and I said that I, on behalf of the football community, was requesting 8 to 10 or maybe 10 to 12 football groups. And that is exactly what we voted on. So primarily on behalf of the pickleball community, I would just wanted to thank you all for your hard work. We're very excited. It all comes to fruition. Informally, I had a chat with Stacy before I even knew about the concerted group. And I had suggested that Blackston would be an ideal location for pickleball. And we maintain that position, and it seems like you all do as well. So thank you. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
You didn't get it.
Yes, oh, yes, good, thank you, as always, being on the ball. Let's see, we just want to remind folks, you can raise your hand and have a comment.
Hi, my name is Carol Druden. I live at 291 Mark Street. I first talked about the forest and the dog park, but I'm just concerned about both of those activities. We've already in the globe about Wellesley. Just about the sound of these. And I don't know if in the feasibility study there'll be any sound studies because there are maybe like next door to it, but I do hear a lot of activity from that from the School Street area. So I'm just concerned about that because once it's put in place, I don't know the way that you will change your mind.
Okay, well, we can confirm that sound being part of the study. Anything else?
Yeah, I want to talk about the dog. And thank you for allowing me to talk to the group. I'm in favor of being able to walk my operation town park. And I was here at the last meeting and for whatever reason, the just taken off the reasons that was done. But my family it's the closest area to walk in the western side of. So how far is if you couldn't walk off leash with your dog, you have to get in the other areas that need them. You mentioned there is another I need them at the end of the rail trail. I went by there and that's one. There was a sign, I thought there was a sign that said on leash only, $25. I think that someone made a reference to that to my area that need them in survey. A lot of people said that they prefer the town, and it seems that again for a number of reasons you decide what reasons are. But for me to use any of the dog parks that you're talking about, that means get in there. It's nice to have the family take a walk to a facility. And fortunately, that's not the case. It's not in the town. One of them not in the town forest. We're very responsible dog owners. We walk our dog off leash down the towns. Field and Wellesley and responds to commands. If we see other dogs or people that are off on leash with a dog on a leash, we're always very respectful of other dogs and their own rights. So dogs is for the dogs owners. If anything, mountain bikes in the town forest pose a great danger to other forest users. And it doesn't seem as if there's any discussion about limiting their access. And dog walkers, 5 to 9 dogs, also provide a risk. And they potentially could limit it. So Medfield's Rocky Ridge, which I'm sure you may know that they have marked trails that permit dogs and other trails that don't permit dogs. So that's an idea. Last time you were talking about particular hours, and that's also something that we could talk about. But as Needham is becoming such an attractive town to bring up a family, walking family path off leash in the forest would be very desirable to many residents without driving to use it. It services a large part of the town, really. It services, where if you look at the forest, there's so much residential families that live there that we would have to all go and drive somewhere else. So that's what my feeling is. Thank you. Thank you for letting me talk like that.
Bill Paulson, 111 Sutton Road. Thank you for letting me address today. I really appreciate you guys working on off-leash opportunities in town. As a lot of people have expressed, it's an important unmet need, and speaker pointed out, it's very much a local requirement. You want to be able to go out your door and go do it, right? And especially in the morning hours when you're trying to get off to work, you get up early, you go do your thing, you come home, you get ready to work, and you go, So having something local is great, and we've got in the recommendations, Hillside is one side of town, that's great, and there's I don't know about the foresty things at the end of Paris and Great Plain, how that's going to work. I haven't really walked through there. And I haven't walked out here yet. This is Rosemary here, right? Yeah. So I'll be interested to see how those go. But that's not the get dogs together with other dogs and socialize your dogs with other dogs scenario, right? When you go through the woods, you're going for a hike with your dog. You encounter other dogs and then you go on your way. Whereas on a field like Hillside, dogs can run. You can throw with a chuck it. You can throw the ball almost 100 yards, and they can go run full speed and get it and come back, right? And that is gold for dogs. They can chase each other around in big circles. We had one dog in our group that was kind of a whippity kind of dog, and man, that dog goes so fast. And it just, when it comes to the size and socialization that the dogs need and really value, and when you're in one area like that, then the people can, we had a person who moved to town and came on this collar and started. And for her, it was really helpful for her to plug into the community, learn about different things that happen. And she had questions about what about this, what about that. She could come ask us. She knew that we were going to be there every morning. Yeah? So having that time is really awesome. At Pollard, we haven't really talked about Pollard in recommendations. We've got the tennis courts thing. We've got that goes till 7:20 in the morning. I don't think there's anybody else using the tennis courts with these cool stuff. I don't think there's any activities on the tennis courts at the point, right?
Currently, we did it one point on the pop-up skiing.
Yeah, so I think it doesn't seem to be a reason why you should be using tennis courts all day long on a regular Sunday or on school day. But on tennis courts, I have two. I have a golden retriever and a cockapoo. The tennis courts are great. I throw the ball, run across, he comes back. The golden retriever, if she's going to run, she's more based in that. And there's other dogs that used to come to our playground Pollard that need the space. like Hurley won't come, Hurley and his dad won't come to the tennis court, but they're still going to Centennial. Because when Michael throws the ball for Hurley, it's a long, like, Hurley needs that space, he gets so much like a truck when he is running. So we'd love to see, I mean, our Pollard has been like a lot of efforts here, and I would love to see Pollard be considered as a recommendation in this group. Now, not a year from now, after some is evaluated on some criteria I don't know about. I know you brought up the side, it's awesome, that's a local lot, and there's gonna be sure dog owners and stuff from that area that will, I know that there are people that will use Pollard. We, at one point, we had on a Saturday, we could count 10 or 15 dogs that would come and run around in the field. This before we started cracking down on the off-leash bit there. So I would love to see the committee reconsider the recommendation and include Pollard as a field for off-leash. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Suburban 19 Churchill Lane.
Just,
Suburban 19 Churchill Lane. Thank you all for considering pickleball. I think Claxton's a great location. My kids always play softball there. I know there's a lot of talk about not being for the skate park, not being able to walk there. But there's nowhere that the majority of kids are going to be able to walk. And Claxton doesn't have houses around it like Mills or Cricket. So I think Claxton's a great location. And that's all.
Steve Dewey, 98 Sutton Road, Needham. I would just, like to support what Bill said in that, dog ownership and walking the dog, especially in the morning, it's a local activity. I'm not going to get in my car and drive over to Hillside in the morning. I don't have time. I live across in the Fazio, which I'm not allowed to have my dog on under any circumstances whatsoever. I am, close to Pollard and appreciate that right now we can have the dogs in the tennis courts. I don't know that's ideal. I think when you go to consider sites for a successful dog parks off leash, I mean, we all know we already have a dog park way off Forest Street. It's difficult to get to, and it's wood chips. And my dog goes there, goes simply to wood chips. Dog parks or off leash dogs, and the ability for dogs to access the fields. I think we should allow the dog on the fields and use take up the majority of the use of every field in town. Seems to be the only focus fields in town. And just to reiterate again, it has to be a local activity to be successful. I mean, no one's going to get in the car. I mean, if I get in my car and drive to Hillside, I can get in my car and drive to the dog park in the morning. I'm not going to do that. I put up with a lot of noise and traffic and lights, and I understand I'm going to be putting up with more light to Fazio, and I would really, as a near resident to that inconvenience of all of that, like to have some benefit finally having these fields near my house, and I think this would go a long ways to it. So anyway, that was just my
Everybody on Holland Dawson, 28th Street, and I just want to thank you for all your reports. We had a great summer last summer, and we're looking forward to future summers. I just had a question about parking, and I'm sure you can't answer it, but I'm sure it'll be included in these things. What is your question? Just to make sure there are parking, yeah. All right, great. Thank you.
Anybody else? Come on up.
I'm Karen Bello, 50 Fuller Road. Thank you so much for holding these meetings and letting us have input. I appreciate that. Similar to what Mr. Cheswick said, I think it would be great for kids to be able to have independence and being able to get to the skate park. But I'd be so much happier to have a skate park in Needham and traveling to Boston, so that's not a sticking point. One of the things people have brought up several times is concern about noise. And you know, a step ahead for our improvability study, but I think it should be taken into account. There are lots of studies done on what reduces noise in a skate park. One is investigating concrete skate parks rather than using prefabricated steel ramps. Prefabricated steel ramps are cheaper, much louder, and fall apart and need to be replaced. So I think there's a lot of studies about the noise levels at skate that people don't skate or bike or so afraid of it. And those actual studies show that it's lower than the sound of leaf blowers, snowblowers that neighbors can stick hearing. It's typical playground noise, and the loudest is usually kids fighting other kids, landing a trick. The noise that we associate with noisy skateboarding are being forced to ride on streets, and that's not the same material. That is much more granular. It is not smooth. That's what we're trying to get rid of by having a dedicated space where these kids could play, and everyone would be much happier. I think it's important when we get this part that we rely on the actual data that's out there, what the noise levels are, what mitigates the noise at a skate park, rather than relying on our evidence of what we are annoyed by when kids are skating in places that we haven't had them skate. And beyond skateboarding is used for a biker, and you don't want kids riding in parking lots or in front of your business, you should advocate for skating. Everyone will be there. Thank you.
Here, back, come on up.
Hi, I'm Jillian Oski. I live at 111 High Rock Street, and I just want to thank you guys so much because the plan sounds unbelievable. I can't wait to do pickleball again. I haven't done a lot, I can't wait to start more. But my son is about to start skateboarding and totally thrilled to have a place to do that. One thing I'm wondering is a couple of things. Is will there be enough room for the skateboarders also if they want to rollerblade? Then if rollerblades lead to street hockey, to have this feeling that once we have a little bit, can we make sure it's big enough to have capacity for everything? I'm also thinking they might have, the kids might have younger siblings, might want to ride their scooters. Just, you know, it sounds like just so amazing. It could, so how we, you know, is it just going to be skateboarding or can we do all the fun things? And on that, since I believe this is going to be so successful, so traffic, and will there be bathrooms as part of this plan for everybody to use? And then my only other concern is I love the fact that there will be a unleashed dog park. But will the dogs get scared by all this noise, or will the kids get distracted while they're on this?
This is happening at the same. Dog parks are just.
Okay, that gives me a sigh really. It just sounds like a lot in one place. Even have, like, I love Paxton, but I can't even imagine us doing all this stuff. And if we're gonna invest in this skateboard park and this pickleboard, pickle. Courts, we have enough space for everyone to enjoy while avoiding, you know. Thank you.
Come on up.
Hello, I'm Susan McNeese, I live at 61 Mayo Ave. And I've known for years over to Peaksfield and Newton, just about the time that all the people walking their dogs are leaving. And I've noticed what a great community it is out there. They're very respectful. We always think they're self-policing. If there's any road dogs, they're out of there right away. And I think we can have the same thing at Needham, at Pollard. I've seen it in action with Bulletin's group, and I just hope you consider that. Thank you. I am Ellen Dudley, and I live at 567 West Street. About all the things I like, and I was wondering if you are considering dog times, you know, 7 to 8 a.m. maybe in the town forest, or 5 to 6 p.m. Park. You know, I just wonder if the timing is in the conversation. I'm also a big fan of the skate park, and I love the idea of Claxton, and I like football too. Although I'm not good at it, no matter how many times I try. I live adjacent to the high school. I hear a lot the ping of the ball. I live adjacent to the tennis court. And you know, I live with it. It's okay because I like it too, and I want to try it. So if I want to do it there, I can't sit in the but it definitely, I hear it early, but I'm a fan of all of it. Thank you all for considering all of these awesome opportunities. Thank you.
Anyone else? No. Come on.
I am Amanda. I'm not a town resident, but I own a socialization business and I work for Dental Needham. I've been a socialization trainer in the town of Needham since 2017, where I have worked with dozens of families who have a variety of socialization needs. I used fenced enclosures to run my socialization sessions, using a mix of client backyards, garages, and various dog parks throughout the area. In my 5 years of working for the people of Needham, I have gathered a great deal of feedback regarding where the townspeople believe dogs should and should not be allowed, most of which we've heard throughout this process, of course. And I've also developed a thorough understanding of which materials and designs are necessary to make a functional and amenable dog parks that people will want to use. I have heard that the chief complaint is that dog owners and dog walkers are bringing dogs off leash to areas that are not suitable or designed for them. And that the town's wooded trails have seen a sharp increase in dog-related incidents, altercations and attacks. Knowing that multiple Needham residents do frequent the Native and Dedham dog parks, even though they're further away, and Dedham Dog Park costs $100 a year for non-residents, this suggests that people are willing, some people at times are willing to make the trip to a dog park and even pay to use it when the dog park is amenable for them to use and has all the necessary requirements to have dogs be safe. I've prepared a written proposal detailing a partnership between my socialization business and town, whereby I spearhead the development of a new dog park that has proper amenities that the current dog park lacks, such as a water source, animal shade, and is not muddy. And the proposed dog park will have multiple enclosures to accommodate the needs of a larger variety of dogs, so that more dog owners will want to use it and are less likely to use areas such as the fields and trails. Regarding the issue of dog walkers bringing large groups of dogs off leash onto the wooded trails, I'm also proposing the development of an enclosure specifically for dog walkers to use in the new dog park, with the intention of providing them with a safe place to use so that they don't need to use the wooded trails. Obviously, the dog walker enclosure will have to be heavily regulated and need staggered times posted, that it doesn't erupt in complete chaos and there aren't a million dogs there at the same time. Something along the lines of staggering times, regulating no more than 2 dog walkers at a time can use the space per every half hour is an idea that I floated. Lastly, there is grant money available to build a dog park like this under the dog park program grant from the Stanton Foundation. And several other Massachusetts cities have used that grant, and I'm happy to spread this project and work with the town, the community people, all of that.
Thanks. Actually, we've given the emails. Okay, everyone here. Yeah, thank you. Great. Online people, anybody? No comments? Keep us in the room. Sure, come on.
Just a point of clarification on the Stanton Foundation funds, it's a really wonderful program. And 90% of the cost of the dog park, all you do is raise 10%. And it was something that we considered when we set up the park out of the Nike site. But the problem is you need to have a permanent location in order to apply for the Stanton funds. And the town hadn't up to that point, wasn't willing to dedicate a permanent location to a dog park. So that's just something to keep in mind as you're considering moving the dog park to somewhere else. And saying that it's a wonderful program. We've got a beautiful dog park, and Natick has done it at the Stanton Foundation dog park.
Okay, does anyone else have comments they want to share? All right, well then, I want to thank you all for joining us, both in the room and online. I think if somebody wants to make a motion to adjourn,
May just remind folks our next meeting is at Fall, in great. So April 25th, 5 p.m.
okay, and that of course will be that's online. And if in the meantime you have any more comments, you can send them to the website, the email address I mentioned earlier. I'm gonna keep the address now. OTM, of the town manager, OTM@needham.gov. We're still taking in all those comments, so you can send them in the public comment as well. Okay. Thank you for coming. Does anyone have a motion to adjourn?
I just was wondering, what's the next step for?
The next step is one more meeting. Well, we're assuming that we're all in this meeting is all agreement, in which we will finalize these recommendations and send them out into the world. And that is it. All right.
Well, we send out the results.
Send it out to the owners of these properties with our recommendation. We, like I said at the beginning of this meeting, these are recommendations for the property owners. So it is actually the people, the department that have jurisdiction over these properties that need to take action on this recommendation. Yeah, but they're owned by different stakeholders. So, you know, rec could own some, select board could own some. Conservation property. No. Well, potentially different iterations, right? I mean, for funding and so on and so on.
Yeah,
But not the decision itself.
there, for off these job areas, under the select board, the select board can designate, areas. So capital projects, they go through our normal capital process, so they have to do the budget process for design, construction, and the Park and Recreation Commission are the owners of this project, so they ultimately decide kind of what's affording which budgets will come.
Right, so it's the capital project that would go through town meeting, it's not the policy that would go through town meeting. Although, I mean, you can say that they're one and the same.
Is the 25th presenting the select board or is it another meeting like this?
It's not an open. It, well, it's, but there's no public on it. So I'm not here. Does anyone want to make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
And a second?
A second.
Okay, Sarah? Aye.
Aye.